All right, Nick. Little daytime baseball. Finally treated us relatively well. It's been a little bit of a grind, I guess would be the term to use on these day games for me personally. I think I've done 2 with Corey. I've done 1 with Craig, and I don't think any of them, including this one, has been even remotely close of a baseball game. Just complete blowouts both ways. We now find ourselves in the top of the 9th inning, up 15-1, and I got a hot take. We're going to embrace debate here real quick. Now, I know people are going to think this is insane to say, and I'm not here to get overreactionary. But for a team that claims or cries wolf about maybe the inadequacies and the lack of depth, is it crazy to think that I might throw a position player right here in a 15-1 a game and expect to get 3 outs?
Are you allowed when you're winning?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think it should go both ways. Like I think that if you want to take the chance on throwing a position player when you're up 15-1,
rules. Let's see the rules before we.
This is a good point.
When you can a position player can pitch if the team is ahead by 10 or more runs. So this is one of the rare opportunities that you
very rare.
Hey, I don't hate it.
I'm just saying.
Thankfully, Connor Phillips has only thrown 7 pitches so far.
Yep.
But Connor Phillips, in fairness to you, last night was not available, and Tony Santillan had to pitch. So,
yeah.
And
I'm not saying that it's something to get overly excited about. If he gets out here and maybe 10, 15 pitches, that'd be fantastic. I'm not going to complain at all. But I don't want this thing, and we got 2 outs, but I don't want this thing ballooning into those 20, 25 pitches, and then all of a sudden now we're in a spot where we could have thrown somebody in a 15-1 game that certainly I'd like to think could have got us out of here with a win.
It's fair, yeah.
I think we could pick out some people in the chat, to be honest with you, that could get us out of here.
May had thrown 22 pitches, so.
Well, the good news is it does look like so far Phillips is going to make quick work of this, and that'd be fantastic.
I'm thinking Tito was also probably pretty confident the Nationals weren't going to be grinding out at bats here.
Hey, never know. They got a lot of good hitters, man. A lot of good hitters.
They do. Oh, is this for pizza too?
Is it?
Got the whole split screen on this guy.
I'm not watching the game. I'm watching game day. When it gets this late, I don't take the time to do it. But you let me know when you see the end result of the pizza or non-pizza.
They did get the pizza, but we got the win.
No pizza, but we got the win. What a shame for all those that are in attendance.
He's devastated.
Nick loves this.
Good camera work. Camera work.
You got to love it. All right, folks. 15-1. We'll be back to talk all about it here in just a minute.
He scored! Oh my God! Can you believe it? Johnny Bench has tied it up. The Cincinnati Reds win the World Series in 4 straight. It was a sweep.
In the dirt, it's a wild pitch. Here comes Walker. The Reds win the pennant.
Perkins won the game.
That ball is fair. Cincinnati's ahead. 2 games to none.
Welcome Joe Randa to Cincinnati. Adam Dunn has done it again.
Benzinger backing and calling. And the 1990 World Championship belongs to the Cincinnati Reds.
Marty, yes. This is Adam from Milwaukee. Hey, Adam, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? Good. Do you think Scott Chatterbox is a good player?
Dunn up there with the bases loaded, the outfield deep and around toward right, and the 1-0 on the way to the plate. Swung on, long drive, right field, and this one belongs to the Reds.
And a high drive. Hit back into deep right field. Junior has just knocked the door down to the 500 club.
Benson's first home run is a walk-off winner. That ball had a family.
And De La Cruz is, oh my goodness, look at this kid run. My, oh my, that is a triple.
Matt McClain's first big league
Spencer Steer's first big league hit is a home run to straightaway center field. Joey Votto's done it again.
The pitch. Votto swings high in the air. Right field. Yes! He pointed to the dugout to say, I told you. That is Joey Votto's 315th career go-ahead ribby. Only Johnny Bench had more as a Red.
And I can't tell you how much it means to play in front of everyone here in Cincinnati as a Red. What a gift. What a tremendous gift. So thank you. Thank you.
I think I can speak for all of Reds country. Joey Votto, thank you.
High drive. Left center field. Racing back to the wall. Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! He did! Reds win! Line to right field. Genius, the first Red ever with 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Doesn't have a chance. The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first and Homer Bailey for the second time in his major league career has tossed the no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win. What a dream beginning to the career of Jay Bruce.
All right, Nick. A winning way. One that'll get you right back into the score differential column if you're a big fan of that. That'll get us back to where some would like us to be in that regard. But the truth is, you win 15-1, you pound out 14 hits. You do make 3 errors, but nobody cares about that when you have 15 runs on the board, Nick. You avoid disaster. I guess that's probably the best way to put this. You avoid disaster. You have a team in the Nationals who, I don't know if they're good or bad. I mean, I'd like to say that they're not very good, but truth be told, they do have a good offense. And I'm hesitant to call them bad because I mean, I don't know if we were doing a show for another team and you watch the Reds if we'd call them bad. Kind of feels like we might be calling ourselves bad if we say the Nationals are bad. But nonetheless, find a way to win and you move on, I guess is the best way to put it.
Nobody
Oh, there's somebody.
sweeps the Cincinnati Reds, Trace.
Oh, there's somebody.
At Great American Ballpark.
Okay. I was going to say, I don't know what that was last year's motto. I don't know if that's this year's motto because although, yes, you were on vacation, Nick, but I do have some proof on the schedule that did exist. And I know that you weren't around to see it maybe, but thank God you weren't because that would have turned any optimistic Nick Kirby into possibly being a little negative. I know that you try to keep the bobber above the water there and make all things seem glorious. But the truth is, boy, if you had to sit through the week that we did, I think there'd be a little pessimism. But that's all in the past, Nick. What's right in front of us, of course, is the box score recap at some point. But before we get to that, I just want to let everybody know thank you for tuning in on a day game. And if you have not already, like the stream, and we'll get into the supers here real quick. That we have. Vandy says, I like these new lineups. Yeah. Kind of nice. I mean, I want to be genuine by saying that I don't think it's fair to just say, oh, after 2 days, that was the only problem that we had on this team is that we just needed to shuffle the lineup around. But it is nice to maybe try that just to see if it does spark something. Perhaps could have done that a little bit earlier. I don't know, when we were losing, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 games in a row. 9 of our last 10, 10 of our last 11. Would have been nice to do, but no, it's fine. We don't want to do bingo. Schmick schmack. Let me do that better. Schmick schmack. Friedel leading off tomorrow, correct? Let's go. Chat's already popping. Supers are already coming in with full sarcasm. I don't know. I'm going to try my best not to get overreactionary on whatever lineup card comes out tomorrow, but I am fully preparing myself for what I expect it to be, which is probably what you just said. Trajan says he's back. He says, Knicks are good luck charm. If the Reds win a playoff game, I'll cut my hair like him and join the police academy. There you go. I mean, it's funny, man. It's a good bit. I mean, that's a funny bit. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like it ain't funny. I love you, Nick. Yeah, I love you, man. You've been awesome, but boy,
I've been called way worse things in my life.
That makes me laugh. I mean, I got problems too. Trust me, my hairline's receding so far back in my head. Here at some point, I don't even know if I'm gonna have hair. I'm gonna have to start wearing hats on the show. It's gonna get really bad. But shout out to Trajan Garvey for making me laugh. And you know what? Reds win. Why not? Have a fun little show here. Even though everything might not be perfect on the inside of the house, we can at least right now have some fun at the picnic and act like everything's great.
Yeah.
You ready for the box score recap?
I am born ready.
All right. Love it. So is Sharefax.
All right. Sharefax is very much ready. And we want to remind you, Chatterbox Reds, brought to you by Sharefax Credit Union. With weather finally cooperating, it's time to start those home renovations. Sharefax has a $0 closing cost special until May 31st for home equity loans and lines of credit. Restrictions apply. Contact Sharefax for details at 513-753-2440 or visit sharefax.org. Sharefax Credit Union is an equal opportunity lender and is insured by NCUA. All right, Reds taking on the Washington Nationals. Reds trying to avoid being swept. Chase Burns taking the ball for the Reds against the lefty Foster Griffin. Griffin entered with a 2.12 ERA, had only allowed 11 earned runs in 8 starts this season. Griffin got off to a great start. He struck out the side in the first inning, but Matt McClain hit a 2-run home run in the second to make it 2-0. In the bottom of the fourth, Jose Trevino singled home 2 more runs to make it 4-0. Brian Hayes doubled home 2 more runs to make it 6-0. In the bottom of the fifth, J.J. Bleday really broke the game open. He hit a 3-run home run to make it 9-0, 9 earned runs against Foster Griffin. Chase Burns was absolutely dominant once again. 6 innings, 2 hits, 0 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Chase Burns now with a 1.87 ERA in 9 starts this season. The Reds really poured it on. J.J. Bleday hit his second home run in the 7th. A 2-run shot to make it 11-0. The Nationals did get 1 courtesy run off Luis May, but the Reds faced their former player in Joey Weimer in the 9th. Reds scored 4 more runs off him. A Dane Myers 3-run bomb involved in that. Reds win 15-1. Reds now 23-21 on the season, and the Cincinnati Reds extend their streak of avoiding being swept at home to 39 consecutive games, the club's longest such streak since 2011 to 13.
Nice. We got plenty of options for the deep drive of the day, and why not give it to Matt McClain? Why not? J.J. Bleday, he's had his fun. He's had plenty of fun. But you know what? Matt McClain, when it comes around, you take it. 2-run shot, 104 off the bat, 400 feet. That would get the Reds on the board, get them up 2-0. And I'd like to say that was the spark that this team needed to kind of get going, but they had a spark last night and just couldn't quite hold on. But thankfully, the 72 win percent probability held up and wound up being 100%, despite the fact that last night it was 90%, but we won't get into that. What we will get into, though, is if knee pain or shoulder pain slowing you down, whether it's on the golf course, the pickleball court, or even the gym, it might be time to talk to the care team at QC Kinetix Cincinnati about regenerative medicine options. QC Kinetix takes a different approach, focusing on treatments designed to help your body heal and recover. Conveniently located in Liberty Township, right across from Lakota East High School. You can see what the QC Kinetix is all about by visiting qckinetix.com or calling 513-655-3356. All right. Nick, I'm going to do this because I feel like every single time we have one of these games, it's going to go 40 minutes into the show, and we're not going to say anything about Chase Burns. So I'm going to do myself a favor really quickly, and I'm going to say right off the rip, Chase Burns is that guy. Now, can he keep up what he's been doing right now for the rest of the year? I don't know, but I do know this. For all of the Kurtz talk, for all of the fact that this guy is going to wind up being a bust, and all the hoopla that we had to listen to when this offense was struggling and Chase Burns really hadn't even got a chance to prove himself yet, well, you're starting to see what he can possibly be for this team. And you know what's crazy is you haven't even gotten a chance to pair him up with a guy like Hunter Green and really seeing what that feels like on a series-by-series basis, because let's face it, like we've completely missed Hunter Green, and to be quite frank, like we've missed Nick Lodolo. But the fact is Chase Burns still provides a little sliver of a reminder of what this team does really well when they find a way to win games, which is they have a guy go out there and they usually find a way to give your team a great chance to win. And Chase Burns has continued to do that this year.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's like a surefire all-star right now. Like, I don't even think it would be a debate. I would pick it outside of wherever the all-star game is this year if he's not included. I mean, he's right now probably in a Cy Young conversation.
Yes.
I'm literally looking. He is sixth right now in the betting odds for NL Cy Young. Now, I don't think he'll win because I don't think he'll probably get enough innings, and Paul Skeens does exist. But I mean, just the fact that he's doing this. I mean, he had 6 starts last year. And I've had it with Nick Kurtz for a lot of reasons. But the whole like talk about that, like it's just like the Major League Baseball draft. Like, if you get a player like Chase Burns, just be thrilled. Like, sometimes you land on Nick Senzel, and everyone loved Nick Senzel. Like, he was the most loved prospect I think that the Reds have ever had. Sometimes you get that, so just be thrilled, over the moon thrilled that you got Chase Burns, who is a superstar in every shape of the. It doesn't even look hard for him. And this Nationals team, like, let's put some respect on them. This is a top 5 offense. I was just looking through. They had scored 3+ runs in like 10 straight games. They scored 15 runs in a game last week. They scored 10 runs and 8 runs the last 2 nights against the Cincinnati Reds in this ballpark. This is a really, really good offense, and he just absolutely dominated them.
Yeah, you can also tell that he just feels like he belongs, and he expects to be as good as he's always been, right? It's like you have humbling moments, I feel like, sometimes in Major League Baseball that knock guys down a peg or two, and then you start to worry about what we've always said is if you bring somebody up too soon, you know, do they get shaken to the core and they lose some of their confidence, and then you're just, again, I've never bought into that holistically, but I will say there's always a chance of that happening with a guy like Chase Burns, where he's been successful quite literally his whole entire life. I mean, even when he went to Tennessee, yeah, he had to transfer to Wake Forest because maybe he thought he should have been a starter or whatever, and he wound up being a reliever. But he was a freshman when he did that. He goes to Wake Forest. He winds up being one of the best arms in the entire country. Rhett Lauder, oddly enough, I guess was a part of that same mix at Wake Forest. But then he gets into the big leagues, gets drafted 2nd overall, and the thing that's crazy is that he really didn't have a whole lot of like getting the feet wet moments in professional baseball. It just kind of was like, here, you seem like you're good enough. Let's just kind of start to feel this out and see how it goes. And he's hit the ground running ever since he's putting on a Reds uniform. I mean, yeah, you can probably point maybe to a start in Boston last year where, you know, whether he was tipping his pitches or not, I don't know. I don't want to say that
the Red Sox said he was.
Yeah, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that's the only way he can get hit hard, but obviously there was something going on there. So if you take that away, he's been really, really good, pretty much for the entirety of his career, even though it's very short-lived. I mean, moving forward, what do you say about him? I don't know. I mean, you hope that his inning count can continue to progress. You hope that the Reds, in my opinion, I don't want the Reds to even try to limit him in a way. I feel like let him let you know if he's not good enough to keep doing what he's been doing. And I feel like that's something that he was incredible. I don't want to say incredibly, but he clearly was frustrated by in spring training. Because he was getting asked questions about, you know, why didn't you throw today? Do you have something wrong with you? Or what's the deal? And he's like, I mean, to put it bluntly, he didn't have much PR about it, right? Like, I don't think that he had a PR team telling him what to say. He was just like, I don't know, guys. I'm fine. Like you keep asking me if I got something wrong. I'm not. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. The Reds just want to do this. I don't know why they want to do it, but that's what they want to do. So you can go talk to them. And I don't want the Reds to be like, yeah, he's only going to throw, 125 innings this year, no matter what. It's like I'd rather just, let him push forward. Now, if the Reds are, 10 games out of a playoff spot in the last month of the season, okay, sure, maybe you decide to put the brakes on. But until then, just let this guy take the ball every 5 days and get out of the way.
The one problem he's doing is he never has a short start. Like he has had a start this year that's been less than 5 innings. I mean, just think about that aspect of it. Like, again, I'm the biggest Hunter Green fan in the world, but how many starts from Hunter Green did we see that he couldn't get out of like the third inning as he was kind of developing? Like every single start that Chase Burns has had this year in his rookie season has gone at least 5 innings every time out. And most of those, like, we're not talking like 5 innings at 110 pitches. We're talking like 5 innings like today, or like we're talking 6 innings on 95 pitches. Last start, 6 innings on 87 pitches. Start before that, 7 innings on 94 pitches. Like he's also pitch efficient on top of that. So again, he's gonna have. I think he's gonna have some human stretch at some point. Like we should be prepared for that. But I mean, you talk about things that get you fired up and encouraged about the Cincinnati Reds, and maybe a time where it's lacking a little bit across the board. Chase Burns is certainly a reason for optimism.
That is keeping the optimism going, because why not on a game in which you win 15-1. JJ Bleday has been as good as you could possibly have ever hoped for. Certainly was the last guy left off the opening day roster. There was probably, in my opinion, a reason for that had nothing to do with his performance in spring training. I think that if you even ask the Reds behind closed doors if they had to take their best 26 players no matter what right now and you lose everybody else that comes along with that, JJ Bleday, I think, makes the team. I don't want to sit here and debate on who would have been left behind, but he's taken advantage of the opportunity that's been showcased to him, and there have been numerous guys that have not been able to do that have come up from AAA in this system. Look at the entire outfield for the most part, and you can pretty much pick all of the guys that have pretty much bounced back and forth, and we've seen plenty of guys look the part in AAA, and they get here and they just aren't putting forth the type of numbers that continue to get them the opportunities that I think that we all agree that people need to be successful in Major League Baseball, which is a plethora amount of time to prove it. I think it's safe to say now that he's going to get that. Even if he starts to struggle a little bit, I think it's safe to say that he showcased that he deserves, I guess, some stretch. And the most important thing that I think he's proved is that he's got some pop. Even today, I think the second home run that he hit, I don't want to say it was a cheap home run because all home runs are great, but I think he even kind of laughed when he came around first base, like as if like he didn't think that had a chance to get out, and it got out because it's a Great American Ballpark, and there was times where you hit one in the front row in right center field, and you're like, wow, that got out of here. I don't know what it means, Nick. I don't want to get overly excited about JJ Bleday, but I want to say that if this team has a remote chance to make the postseason, we were going to need someone like JJ Bleday to step up and be an all-star level player. And maybe he'll be able to continue to do what he's doing, even though I don't think that's realistic. But even if it's maybe a little less than what he's been doing.
He's seen above average hitters, and right now he looks like a legitimate above average hitter, which is kind of what we're begging for. I was gonna say he does look like he looks like he loves playing at Great American Ballpark. I think that, and he did play in like that minor league stadium in Sacramento last year that we saw how easy it was to hit home runs. But this guy does have pretty legit power. I mean, 2024 he hit 20 home runs. That was over a full season. Last year he hit 14 home runs in 98 games. This year he has 6 home runs in 16 games. Hit a ton of home runs down at AAA. This guy definitely has legitimate power. The biggest kind of detriment to him was that he just didn't really get on base at a high enough level. But right now he's got a .455 on base percentage for the Reds. So again, I don't think that part of it will will stick, but he's walking a lot more too. That's probably the thing that's probably not getting noticed as much. He's walking at a significantly higher rate than he was. And again, it's a very small sample, but I mean, he's walking in 21% of his plate appearances. Last couple of years, he was in the 10. So he's doubled that. And that obviously, I think, is a big thing that will help him not, when he's not hitting bombs, which isn't going to happen every night.
Well, of the Francona 4 that I felt like no matter what they did, they were probably going to get opportunities at galore to try to take some fun away from Sadak being a poet there in the middle of the innings. Nothing better than when Sadak just kind of loses track of the game because it's just out of hand and he just starts going on his own little merry way. Sadak's pretty special in that regard. Now, having said that, Steer has been the difference maker, in my opinion, on whether or not I believe this team has a remote chance to do anything. And I say anything special. But what I mean by that is if they have a chance to win enough games to get in the postseason, to be quite frank. And I thought that they had a chance to win this division until they went to Chicago, and then after Chicago, I don't know. I watched the Cubs for 4 straight days, and I seen that they were a pretty damn good baseball team. We've lost, whatever. We were 1-7, I think, at the time in the division. Just really hard to win your division when you can't beat anybody in your division. So I'm just going to backtrack on that and say I'm kind of pushing that to the side. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not expecting to win the division. But if this team were to try to make the postseason via the wild card, Spencer Steer is going to be a big reason as to why. And I think that thankfully he's kind of come alive. He's had some down years past couple years. I feel like, in my opinion, they were down years in consideration of what we thought he would be. And he's kind of getting himself closer to back on track. And I know everyone's going to say, look at the home runs and look at the RBIs. I don't know. As much as people maybe get upset about, using batting average and the big 2.6, the RBI thing, to me, I don't put a lot of stock into, largely because it's like, how many opportunities did you even have to drive runners in when you came up to the plate? Especially if you're hitting in the 4 or 5 hole. Yeah, you're hitting after Ellie De La Cruz and whoever else you have at the top of the lineup last year. But point is, I guess between Bleday and Steer, from a corner outfield perspective, as much as we've complained about this outfield, it gives us some stability. And then now the $1 million question is going to be what happens in center field, and that is a toss-up at this point between a bunch of guys that have not proven that they're very good. And Dane Myers has been pretty bad for what we probably expected him to be up to this point, although the sample is relatively small. TJ Friedel is what he is, and then you have Benson, who is what he is, and none of them have done what JJ Bleday has done. And we need maybe somebody to do that moving forward.
Yeah, Steer's over 1,000 OPS now against lefties. So, I mean, he just continues to give this lineup that stability there. Yeah. It'll be interesting, when Gino comes back, because right now there's kind of enough food to feed everyone's mouth, I think, to relatively right now. But when Gino comes back, someone's going to be the odd man out. So it'll be interesting to kind of see that. It sounds like Gino's getting closer. So
yeah.
But it'll also be a situation where, like, I'm sorry, Gino's got to hit too. I mean, Gino had 3 home runs, I think, and that was kind of like the only thing that had kind of carried him. But other than that, I mean, he was pretty bad. So, yeah, I'd be kind of lying if I didn't say, like, I'm always a little nervous he comes back and kind of takes some playing time away from someone, and it could be a detriment, at least for a little while, for an offense that really just can't afford any of those right now.
Well, what they'll do, in my opinion, is they're going to create the opportunity through third base. That's my guess. Whether you like that or not, I think that's what
they're kind of already doing that for, like, Nate Lowe right now.
Yes, but I think that they will pretty much commit to the fact that whether you like it or not, Hayes is probably on the outside looking in if A. Eugenio picks it up and starts playing well, and there's no huge defensive miscues from Stewart over there at third base, and I think that's just going to stick, and Lowe will probably play first, and you'll have Steer and Bleday in the corner outfield spots, and then you'll have your middle infielders on who they are pretty much for the remainder of the year between Ellie and McLean. And the $1 million question at this point, as I've said before, is who plays center field and who's going to do it at a high enough level that we can feel like we have, somebody out there that's going to help us win. Because right now we've been, between Myers and Friedel, they've just not been good enough. Now, saying that on a day where we win 15-1, and I believe Myers had 2 hits. Myers had 1 hit, excuse me. Hayes had 2 hits. I think that's what I was thinking of. But we'll see. I mean, it's just we'll see. I think that's the best way to answer this whole lineup situation and offensive output question marks that we find ourselves in on a day-in, day-out basis. Tyler Stevenson can come around too. That'd be nice. So there's plenty of guys that, to Tito's credit, if they can play closer back to what their baseball card says they should, then we might be in business, or we might be out of business. I don't know. Super chats, you want to get into them?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. All right, super chats that we have not gotten to already would be from Austin. Austin says, with Marte now playing center in AAA, look at that segue. Do you guys think he is planned replacement for next year / later this year? You know what? I think it's insane that this guy was a third baseman like last year, and then all of a sudden he gets thrown into right field. We're really, really concerned about the fact that he's not a very good outfielder, and oh man, we got to hide him out there. And all of a sudden now we're just like, yeah, he's our center fielder. Boy, that's a Reds thing to do. At least feels like it. I don't know. But I can't talk out both sides of my mouth. You can't continue to play the worst center fielder in Major League Baseball completely. And, oh, by the way, only give a guy that has a pretty high upside offensively 30 plate appearances and then just send him back into AAA and think that you did yourself any justice. Not just for Marte, but just for your organization as a whole. So I'm going to say this. I'm not opposed to it anymore. I'm not opposed to that. I'm just not. Now, I know you're going to say that possibly the defensive side of it is very, very concerning to you, but you know what? At some point, you just throw all the chips in the middle and you say, the hell with it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I also just don't trust that Tito will actually play Marte every day. And at this point I just kind of want Marte to play every day. I do not want him back up doing what he was doing before. I just don't know what purpose that has. And I don't think it's good for him, and I don't think he's going to thrive in that either. So if you call him up, you got to go all in on it. I could buy that, but I just don't believe that they would do it.
I would also argue that I don't know. Maybe he would be a better center fielder than Bleday. I mean, I haven't done enough digging from a sprint speed perspective, but I would assume Marte's quicker than Bleday. But again, playing good outfield isn't just being fast. I mean, you got to take good angles to the ball. You got to have the ability to track the ball down and actually make the play. And Marte has shown in right field that he's probably not the most comfortable doing that. But I would say, I don't want to put a limit on people either. There's a chance that he's capable of being a good center fielder if he puts his effort, if he puts a true effort into it and he works hard at it. I think you definitely can get better. He's an athlete. I mean, he's certainly a guy that transitioned better to right field than maybe people would have expected when he was at third base, straight out to right field and kind of just out of the middle of nowhere. It's not like he had all off season to kind of work on that when he got thrown out into right field. So maybe he will. I don't know. But the truth is they need a better center fielder. So we'll see if they pull that. I don't know. But
I would say if you did go to a Bleday, Marte, Steer outfield. I know Steer made a really nice catch today. I don't think I think it's a pretty rough outfield defense. Those three together. Bleday was -8. Bleday was -8 outs above average last year. Now he's playing some of that in center field, but he still last year was -2 in left, -1 in right, -5 in center. So that'd be a rough outfield.
I understand.
Not Gavin Luck's rough. Not Gavin Luck's rough. But whatever the step between that and good is. Or average.
Yes, but as much as you say defense matters, it all matters. I mean, it does all matter. You got to take both into account. And for a team that is as offensively challenged, funny to do that on a show like this, as offensively challenged as the Reds seem to be, you're probably going to have to take a chance at some point trying to hide somebody somewhere where they're not supposed to be. And again, this is all expecting Marte to be an above-average hitter, by the way. Like, we're not sticking him out there just to be an average hitter. And you sent him down to AAA because you thought he couldn't even be an average hitter. So I don't know. Mixed messages are high. We'll see. Sam says, just got back from a week-and-a-half vacation. Nice for you. Said the Reds went 2-8 while I was gone. You can blame it all on me, guys. Sam, you trust me, buddy. We'll blame it. At this point, this fan base will blame everybody, even the poor soul that had a soccer jersey on and a baseball glove. He was the scapegoat for a certain percentage of the fan base last night, which, shout out to Craig for filling in for me last minute. But I just don't believe in that whole. I don't believe in that at all. I mean, not to backtrack here real quick, but we have plenty of problems on the field. We don't need to go in the stands and start blaming fans. Justin says, Spark one for 15 runs, a nice long 15-second drag. I don't know what he's talking about, to be honest. No idea. It's a kid's show after all. D. Brown says, the wifey's still making that lasagna every day, but today she did add some Italian sausage. Hope she adds in tomorrow as well. Sausage fan is D. Brown. Ned Flanders says, how are we feeling about the pitching matchups this weekend, Nick? P.S. The Reds were 20-24 on this date last year. Look at Ned trying to be the best Nick Kirby he can be. Always finding the obscure stat that points you towards what you think is a better day tomorrow.
Not feeling great about the pitching matchups this weekend, if I'm being honest.
We'll save that for I mean, if Burns isn't throwing, how can you feel all that good about it, for being on it? Like,
the Guardians have 3 pretty good pitchers all lined up.
I think Ned knew that when he asked.
Yeah.
Jack says, the bobblehead curse is real. I didn't want to bring this up again. After 5/23, that'd be May 23rd. Welcome to Left Bench Hayes. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know.
Can Hayes get a day? Can Hayes get a day off? Had an RBI double today. 2 RBI double. Come on. Can he have one night of peace?
Wait a minute, Nick. Before you say that, didn't he get a double off? Didn't he get a double off of basically the guy they drag out of the stands to pitch for Washington in the 9th inning?
No, it was the starting pitcher.
Both of them. Hold on.
The RBI double.
Yes.
2 hits. I was talking about the RBI double that put the Reds up 6-0 was off of the starting pitcher.
All right.
Hit a nice clean 97 miles per hour off the bat, ripped down the line.
How hard?
Put the game away.
How hard?
97-7.
Oh, he smoked it. That thing was absolutely laced. That's how I know. That's how I know that you're trying so hard to fight for Hayes. And you know what? I appreciate that out of you. I do want to say this. You stick up. You stick up for guys that get picked on sometimes. Now, albeit he's hitting like 0.95 for more than half the season. And he's also an average fielder so far this year. Although, yes, if you let him play the remainder of the year, I'm sure he'd be a well above average fielder. But despite the fact you're sticking up for him, but I do know that you're sticking up for him because you said he laced the 97-mile-an-hour ball down the line. And if somebody else hit a 97-mile-an-hour ball from time to time, you'd not have been like, it wasn't that hard.
Well, you have to. It's the combination of a 97-mile-per-hour liner and the platinum glove. You have to have both of those things.
And the launch angle.
He has hit lefties well. He's got a 748 OPS against lefties. Don't want to talk about against righties. But look, like for the, I can be convinced a little bit more on Hayes for the crowd that says platoon him. But if you do not believe that Brian Hayes is valuable enough to play against lefties at third base, we've lost the plot.
You've lost the plot. All right, so well, you come around a little bit. So against right-handed pitching, you're not against the fact that maybe he just doesn't play as much. All right,
I'm not completely against it, but I don't want to hear complaints when you lose a game on defense.
Hey, we're softening the stance. We're softening the stance. The stance is
you
starting
beat
to
me
soften.
down. I mean, you just beat me down so much. Like,
just saying. You gonna get your bobblehead on May 23rd? Because if not, you might want to get it soon. There's a chance that he gets DFA'd or perhaps sent to the. I mean, you never know. Ask Marte how he feels.
I do want that bobblehead. Someone send that to me. I'll do a trade. I got an extra Votto.
Okay.
I mean, what a deal!
That's
what a deal.
Terrible trade. Wait a minute. You've lost the plot.
Like,
you've lost the plot. You're trading anything. You shouldn't even trade anything.
Six Votto of a certain.
I don't care if you got 12 of them, Nick. That's a bad trade. You could write Votto down on a piece of paper and literally rip it in half. And as long as it has Votto on there, it's worth more than anything that Hayes has. I don't care unless it's real gold. Unless it's real gold that they're selling down there or giving out down there. And in fact, they probably should market it as the fact that bobblehead, there's a select few of them that have real gold. Otherwise, I was thinking today how bad it's going to be as people walk into Great American Ballpark on the bobblehead day and they go to hand it to people and they're like, nah, no thanks. It's just I don't feel like carrying that around. You don't think people
if
do
you
that?
If you do not take the Brian Hayes bobblehead, you are required to go sit in a room and watch the 2020 Reds defensive lowlights for 20 minutes straight.
That's a good. All right.
That's the trade-off.
That's who beat you down. All right. Now, so we're starting to, this is like a therapy session here in the middle of the super chat. So we're starting to get to the core of why Nick Kirby still stands up for the Brian Hayes of the world. It's because he had to sit there and watch the abysmal baseball of the Cincinnati Reds try to play defense a couple years ago. That's fair.
Just missed the playoffs.
That's fair. The ubiquitous one says TJ Friedel gets 2 plate appearances in 18 innings. Reds score 22 runs in that same stretch.
Oh, God.
Causation or correlation? I'll hang up and listen. I have no comment. I will say this. When you start off every single game with an automatic out, it becomes a little defeating. I mean, it does. It's like, really? This is how we're going to start it off? I mean, imagine walking out your front door every single day when you take your very first step, you stub your toe. Doesn't mean you can't have a good day walking from there on out. But you just can't quite get over the fact that you stubbed your toe every single day when you walk out the door the very first step.
The funny thing about today is the Reds struck out.
Yeah, they did.
In order of the first inning and scored 15 runs. And it's all about, like, my old boy's been trying to get the starting pitcher in the first inning.
The bits don't work today for the leadoff man.
No, they don't.
And really, they didn't even really all that work the other day either. I think our leadoff hitters have been 0 the last 2 or 3 days in a row. Benson was 0 combined with Myers, and then today it was Myers. So, I mean, TJ Friedel, I don't know. I'm going to plead the fifth on that, though. But I'd like to not change it. I'd like to keep on trying it, see what happens. Why not? All right, back half. As always, of course, if you are in a time where perhaps you need some help, you can always text and or call 988. It's okay to not be okay. You can also visit mantherapy.org. And, Nick, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is always open 24/7, day or night. You can text and or call 988. It's a good reminder. All right, back half of the show. Where do we go from here? Matt McClain, I'm glad it's on the rundown because I kind of forgot, and you know what? I shouldn't have forgot. He got this team on the board early, 2-0 with a home run, and it was nice to see him smile. It was nice to see Matt McClain smile. We need him to play better than he's played for the last few years. I don't know if this is a sign of more things to come or not, but we'll take it.
Yeah, McLean is up to a 664 OPS, which if you look up and down the lineup, that's not all that bad. I think McLean's kind of gotten lumped in with Cabrian, with Friedel, and I don't know if it's necessarily completely fair. Like, he has been, I think, much better than those guys. But yeah, I mean, look, this team is going to ride with Matt McLean. Like, whether you want them to ride with him or not, they are. And yeah, I mean, he has 4 home runs, 8 doubles. So there's something in there. But yeah, I don't know. We just need that 2-week stretch. It's got to be in there, right, Trace?
It seems like every time we get our hopes up, then the 2-week stretch that we get is the one for his last 21 and hasn't got on base in 10 games. I'm not getting my hopes up, but it's almost like what JJ Bleday has done. We need our center fielder or our second baseman or our catcher to start to do the same thing. Not all of them, but one of them. And who's that going to be, I don't know. But between Stevenson, McLean, and I'll say Friedel, even though I don't know if he's going to continue to get reps out there or not, but somebody has to be better. And it's frustrating because the crazy thing is that maybe the most frustrating thing of all this at times is that Stevenson was a guy that I'll say I'm wrong. I was wrong about him when I first saw him. I thought he was going to be a legitimate big league hitter year in and year out because I thought he looked the part. I really did. I felt very confident that Stevenson was not going to be someone we ever had to worry about hitting. Matt McLean came on the scene, and he just reminded me of just a downright dirtbag, great high IQ baseball player. And I can understand why this front office wanted to extend Matt McLean. And I could also understand why Matt McLean wanted to bet on himself because he looked like a MVP level type player. He really did. And yet I was wrong on him a little bit because I never would have guessed that he'd struggle as bad as he has. Now, yes, you can blame it on the oblique. Possibly. So out of those two guys, when I first saw them, I could not imagine them being the weakest link or part of the weakest links that are holding back something that is the offense. And I'm with you, Nick. Maybe those 2 weeks are coming, but we need it, and it'd be nice to have some belief again because that's the only thing that feels like this team can't forego much longer, which is some offense, because not to get into the next thing, which is obviously Mole coming back, but like the bullpen looks terrible and the starting pitching looks bleak. So you need some offense.
Yeah. I mean, you were kind of banking so much on the pitching, it just hasn't held up. But that does get into my next point. I just was Sam Moore, I thought looked really good today, and outside of the Tony Santillan disaster last night, that's been 2, I think, really positive days from the bullpen. I thought Brock Burke looked really good last night. Graham Ashcraft has looked really good. TJ Antone has been a really nice breath of fresh air. So hopefully a chance to reset. The Guardians don't have a great offense, so maybe a weekend where you can kind of build a little bit of momentum with your bullpen. But yeah, I mean for as much as the offense needs to be better, the pitching I think needs to be even better than whatever that level is, just because that was what this team was built on. This team wasn't built on even kind of an even load across the board. Like, they were built on a heavier load from the pitching. So Andrew Abbott getting back to what we think he can be helps. I think Nick Lodolo has got to be better. Brady Singer, you have to think, will have a stretch where he's better. But it's just you feel more and more the loss of Hunter Green. I think that first month of the season kind of was able to you're able to kind of forget about it. But I mean, this guy is one of the, I think, 10 best starting pitchers in baseball. And when you're missing that, it has such a cumulative effect on the team.
Yeah.
Like it's just, yeah.
I'm with you. I mean, I will say quickly with Maul being on the rundown, it's nice to see him come back. How much stock you want to put in just one outing in a game that was, out of hand, I think would be safe to say. I don't want to act as if there was a high leverage spot that he came into, but we need all the help we can get in that bullpen. I mean, really, there's not a whole lot of trust that I have in that area, and I knew there was some room for regression, clearly based off the start that they got off to, but between the injuries and the just black holes that exist out there, and I'm not trying to name names, but I think we all know who they are. If they come out of the bullpen, you're starting to feel pretty concerned about it. Mole's a guy that I think I do trust a little bit, so it's nice to see him out there.
Yeah.
So, all right, Reds MILB, they do play later today. Nick, let us know when and where.
Yeah, everyone plays later tonight. Reds MILB presented by our friends at 78 Cigars. Cincinnati legend Anthony Munoz is a new venture we're fired up to partner with here on Chatterbox Reds. Introducing 78 Cigars, a premium cigar line from the Hall of Famer himself. If you love great cigars in Cincinnati football history, this is the perfect combination. You can grab 78 Cigars right now at both Montgomery and locations or over at Creekside Cigar Company. You can also check them out online. Just head to anthonymunoz.com. Click on the 78 Cigars page and learn more or place your order today. That's 78 Cigars from the greatest offensive lineman to ever do it, Anthony Munoz. All right. Louisville will be at Indianapolis. They're hosting Indianapolis at 6:35 p.m. The Bats interplay just one game out of a playoff spot. Bats have not been in the playoffs since 2010. So they're fighting for it right now. Chattanooga, they host Pensacola at 6:30 p.m. Dayton will host Lake County at 7:05. Alfredo Duno is homered in 3 straight games. And then Daytona, the struggling Tortugas at Palm Beach at 6:35. And not to forget about our friends out in the Arizona Complex League. The ACL Reds play the ACL Rockies at 9 p.m. We'll have all the details in your podcast feed on Friday morning.
All right, folks. If you have not, please like the stream. We do have who, what, when, where, and why, and we have a big series ahead of us. As we all know, this is one of the biggest ones of the year. Don't want to spoil the bit, Nick, but let us know who, what, when, where, and why.
Big night tomorrow in Cleveland, Trace. You have Reds Guardians, and then right across the plaza, the Cavs in Game 6. So some poor souls are going to have to try to find a way to get downtown, maybe even take a train tomorrow to see how this works. But the pitching matchups for the series, not exactly favorable for your Cincinnati Reds. Andrew Abbott against Tanner Bybee on Friday. Bybee is 0-5, but he's been pitching much better of late. Saturday, Chris Paddock against Gavin Williams. Gavin Williams can strike out the world. And Sunday, Brady Singer against the lefty Joey Cantillo, who is 3-1 with a 2.98 ERA. Abbott in his career against the Guardians, 2-2 with a 4.47 ERA. Last 3 starts, 17 2/3 innings, just allowed 2 runs. I must have been looking at the wrong one. A career against Cleveland, he's 3-1 with a 2.11 ERA. He's actually pitched very well against the Guardians. Stephen Kwan, just 1 for 10 in his career against Andrew Abbott. Jose Ramirez is 4 for 10. Tanner Bybee, last time out, 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 9 strikeouts. So as mentioned, he's pitched much better of late. But I'll have a few more details for you in the Friday morning podcast feed.
All right. The Ohio Cup. I mean, let's face it. It's as big. It's some are saying it's the biggest cup of the summer. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Nick?
I mean, the Reds are on a 1-year winning streak, so
no other cups that are that big of a deal that are being played this summer anyways, right?
No, nothing.
None. Not even in the not just in Ohio, but in the entire country.
I would put the Ohio Cup over Lord Stanley.
Would you?
Yeah, I mean,
I was thinking the World one, but that's beside the point.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's going on too.
Yeah. How could you forget? How could you forget after last night watching that game? It didn't remind you, like, oh yeah, soccer.
You're way over my head right now.
It's okay. There's people in the chat that are getting some chuckles. And there are people in the podcast forum right now that are probably laughing about the joke I just made. And there's another super chat here that I'm going to get to, but I'm not going to even say it because I just want to say thank you for the super, but I can't say it. It's it's not appropriate. I mean, Trayvon Garvey's out here. He's just he's pushing the buttons. Yeah, I can't even say any of it. I think it's a politician and it has something to do with catching a ball that may or may not have been a home run, and I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that ball of wax. Just can't do it. Can't do it. All right, let's get to the final super chats here before we head off into the sunset as you read them and laugh. Excuse me. Justin wants to know, can I get a state of the Chatterbox speech? I think the state of Chatterbox. First of all, I'd say things are all right, not bad. I'd say we're a little bit better than what the Reds have been this year. So even maybe a little bit above 500, a little bit more above 500 than what the Reds are. But the goal is to get better. So that's the speech. I don't think that's what you wanted. Probably not what you were looking for there. But maybe that speech will come. It probably will. But the State of the Union of Chatterbox at the moment is that we're doing a show at 4 o'clock in the middle of the day. And, we got 170 people in here watching. And we love the fact that the Reds are playing good enough for people to still care. And we hope they play better so people will really care. And we can all continue to have fun. Because it's fun doing shows when you win 15-1. All right. The ubiquitous one says, P.S. I was just trolling with the Friedel stat. Don't get me wrong. He's not good is what he's trying to say. But the stat was a joke. Seriously, I'm feeling for Santillan. Trace, he played at a high level. What do you think he needs? Better stuff. I mean, I think he just needs better stuff. I also don't really believe that Santillan is as good. I think it's safe to say that relievers are so fickle that it's hard to judge them throughout. Like it's just really hard to judge them on the back end of what you would consider their careers and say that you fully expected them to be as good as they were the previous year. Santillan was also a guy, I said this 1,000 times. I'll say it one more time. Why not? I remember seeing him when we first started doing this show, Nick, in the outfield doing rehab. And I was like, that guy's still trying to make it back? Kudos to him, man. Kudos to Santillan, still working hard, trying to get back to the big leagues. And then all of a sudden I felt like an idiot because he was one of the best relievers we had last year. And it was with a good bullpen. And I was like, wow, this guy's good. But the truth is like, I don't know. One year you're great, and the next year you're horrific is the way that these relievers go. So what he needs beats me, man. I never was a reliever, wasn't a pitcher, but I think it'd be better if his fastball was a little bit harder and his breaking stuff was just a little sharper. Right now, maybe he's tipping his pitches. That seems like the easiest out of all time, by the way. Guy struggles, guy's bad. Put out a PR statement that says we found something that everybody was picking up on. Tony Santillan's been tipping his pitches for the last month, even though he hasn't. Got to give him a fresh start.
I think he's also just leaving pitches over the middle of the plate, and I think he needs a trip down I-71. A little get right trip, and
needs to go see Daryl Ward. Does he help with pitchers too?
Could he hurt?
No, I think Daryl Ward's the guy. I mean, when you talk about manager material, Daryl Ward. Wow, that one struggled for a minute. Might be my guy. He's like the
better put him in waiting before someone else snags him.
That's right. He's like Tyson Lewis of managers. You know, he's just a baby boy. Just such a baby boy. Nobody's noticed him yet, but he's a rock star. Superstar.
It will soon enough.
What's
going on with these supers?
Mr. Robbins wanted everybody to know that he's not a politician, but he did want the ball. I don't know. We've lost it. We've lost the plot on this show. Reds win 15-1, everybody. Looks as if to me that we have plenty of people in the chat that could probably use some fresh air, perhaps. Get outside, touch some grass, as they say. But until then, we got the Ohio Cup on our hands, folks. And if you don't think I'm going to get fired up for that, then you don't know me. I can't wait to play for the Ohio Cup. And we'll be here to watch it all in the 9th inning. Yet again. Nick, enjoy your time, by the way. Enjoy your time at the ball games. People are going to probably be wondering and asking where you're at. Are you sick? Did you quit? Is everything okay? It is true that you're allowed to take time off, and I hope you enjoy the baseball games that exist in Cleveland.
Be there next 2 nights. Be here Sunday night to recap it all.
That's right. All right, folks. If you haven't, please like the stream. That would be fantastic. We have met the 1 hour obligatory time frame that we do these shows. We really don't have that. That's a joke, by the way, for people that probably think that they got to drag it on because they have to make it an hour. We don't have to do that. We could do a 20-minute show if we'd like to. We just somehow don't ever do that. So, 15-1 winners. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Take care.
Great lead. There he is.